Okay, so this is just going to be a brief tutorial talking about how you can start to modify your screen geometry once you have this set up. Just as a note, as you guys are going through this and creating your David did this, we have these guys in here. When you're creating the surfaces, by going and click, and this guy right here, planar surface from planar curves, um, if you click on that and it doesn't show up like this, it might be because you have your shaded render viewport off, and I just toggle that off by hitting here. You can also toggle that on by going to here. So what this does is that shades all the surfaces. They actually appear to exist. Otherwise, they just appear as line work. Thicker line work, but still, that might be an issue that you guys might encounter. So we click, and so we come in here and say each one of these guys is what we want to have. But when we run our analysis in the previous demo, we come back and we're either too thin or we're too thick. And so we're going to start to talk about ways that we can modify that. So I'm going to undo this by hitting Control Z. And I'm going to look at these guys. So there's a couple of ways we can go about this. We have things like this, or we're not getting cutouts. You got to make sure each one of these guys is done. And then we got to make sure that they're joined into closed curves if we want them to operate within the planar area there. Okay. So we look over here. As we go through this, if you guys are having problems, for instance, if I create a bunch of duplicates here, that occasionally will throw that off. So you guys want to look for the duplicates. You can type SELDUP, and you have to select all the duplicates, and you can delete those away to start to troubleshoot that. Okay, and as you guys get into this more overlapping geometry, the select dupe is really complicated. Or sorry, not complicated, useless in the sense that it has to be an exact copy. So if something's close, say like from a live trace, you have to go through that manually. Okay. So if you're having problems with issues like that with the live trace file, it's better to go back into your Illustrator document and modify it in that location, because you've probably copied too much geometry in your live trace. Okay, so what we can do here, say that we're going to assume at first that this was a little bit too open. So David has a Voronoi-esque pattern here. We can start to use the offset tool by just typing offset, and we can scroll down. And what that will do is that'll give us a guy here. So we'll also go through the top of this. We can set the distance that it's going to offset, say to like 1/8 of an inch, 0.105. And we can go ahead and also control a bunch of other settings. Tolerance, we can set it to be the corners to be sharp if we're using poly surfaces. Then we can go both sides if you like. We're trying to say we're doing something like we're trying to estimate a CNC toolpath or something like that. We can figure out what that might look like as it cuts through. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and escape and just repeat this. So we can either offset outward or offset inward. And that's something you want to note as you guys are doing this. This is going to significantly increase the complexity of your curves either way. And so you can see that here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 points that define David's initial curve here. And then as we go through this and turn on these control points, there's just now a significant number more. Now, if this starts to bog down, this new geometry may come back, and if we do that for each one of these guys to thin this up, that's increasing the complexity of the entire screen very, very significantly. And so sometimes we may end up finding that that's not going to actually create a planar surface. An alternate way of going about that is we can start to go through this, and we can split this manually. So what that does is that reduces the number of objects or items it has to utilize and engage in the operation, and you'll have some efficacy with that, I think. Or you could come in and say it's still really bad, or you have a lot of really small guys. You can come in here and type rebuild. What this does is this pulls up the point count, and we can reduce the point count back down to something a little more manageable. Maybe not as simple as it was initially, because it's not going to reconstruct this based on that previous version, but we can certainly get close while also reducing the complexity. So we hit OK there. You can see that while it sort of massaged the shape, and I'll toggle this undo and go fix in case the video doesn't. So we hit Control Redo, Control Undo. It's like cycle back and forth between those. You can see that it makes a little bit of a difference there. But when I turn on the control points, all of a sudden this is a much lighter set of geometries that are involved in this. Okay, so it's one quick and easy way to go about doing that. All right, so that'll enable you to increase or decrease. The other option here is to increase the number of perforations. You can see in here, maybe we have opportunities. I'm not sure what David did to create the plan in here. We can take this, cut that across. We can just trim some of this. Make sure we join that. Okay. As we go through this, what we'll be able to do is reversion our screen. And you never want to delete any of your original content. Part of this project we'll look at ultimately the versions that you guys are going to